The Golden Gauntlet, Marvel Snap's biggest ever and only official tournament series, has concluded with its world champion, the first officially recognized Marvel Snap world champion, and it's Cerebro? Yeah, that's right. We're going to take a look at the top 16 decks, every deck that made the cut in the Golden Gauntlet. First, though, a quick note. A bunch of players played decks to the top 16. The following 6 players played decks to the top 16, but they were the lower ranked of 2 or more players who played the same deck. Because of that, we're going to just talk about the higher ranked so that we're not boring you with the same deck over and over. Those players are Harmony Bassoon, Knife Hand, Omelas, as in the ones who walk away from, Bad Musician, Nithiel, our friend Nithiel, apparently now the top French player, and Kalona 23. Congrats to the 6 of you on the awesome performance. We'll talk about your decks throughout the video, and I hope I do them justice. Before we get to the number, actually 17 deck, we're going to show you the 17 deck first. We're going to ask you if you're willing, if you want to get a free season pass. If so, all you have to do is sub, like, and comment. In addition, if you check the community posts, the first 5 winners of the season pass from last week are posted. If you'd like your chance to win one this week, all you have to do is press that sub, leave a like, and leave a comment. All right, so Angel Swords rank 17 deck. This was a deck that didn't make it on tiebreakers. There are a whole bunch of those, including our friend Cougar, who just didn't make it on tiebreakers. They are obviously no worse players and no worse decks necessarily. They just had the luck of the draw to not get quite high enough of a opponent match win percentage type thing. So Angel Sword, I just wanted to feature this because I think it's really cool, honestly, more than anything else. This is a Thanos deck that we really haven't seen much of in a long time. This is almost a Thanos Zoo. I think like you're not wrong to call it a Thanos Zoo. It's Thanos Zoo tech. We've got the Marvel Boy, right? We got Etrian and a Warlock for extra draw on top of the stones. We got the Marvel Boy. We got Armor and Cosmo because I guess we're worried about Destroy. We're worried about Killmonger. There is not going to be a lot of Killmonger up here. Phastos is incredible with the stones. Plus 2 power on a stone is great, as is -1 cost. This is one of the only Shang-Chis we're going to see. I think this might be the highest ranked Shang-Chi we see. We have Wiccan. We have Enchantress. So we have the control pieces with the energy to play them thanks to Wiccan. We have Alith as just this way to eliminate combo. A cheap 9 power in Mockingbird. And of course Thanos with the draw stones. I would not have in a million years thought this deck would do that well, although Thanos always seems to overperform in a tournament setting. Props to Angel Sword for nearly making the cut, and sorry about that strength of schedule downfall just by a little bit. All right, the number 16 and 15 are decks that we're going to see higher up, as noted earlier. So we jump over to rank 14 with our friend, Mr. ELA. That's East Los Angeles, not English Language Arts, for anyone who's wondering. I know I had to ask ELA personally about that. He's a regular in all of the different streams of the community. He's a great community member who's featured on this channel a lot. For the past several months, he's been playing variations of Storm War Machine Legion and using that as a way to sort of get a little tech package into the decks. That tech package for this tournament meant Mercury, Juggernaut, and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Of course, Legion and Storm can also be considered tech cards as you so choose. There's nothing super fancy here. It is basically get Prio, play powerful cards. That would be the Black Hat, the Hydra Bob, the Maw, right? If you can do that and you can lock down the game with the Storm War Machine Legion, you automatically win. And if you play Storm and Snap, your opponent in a tournament setting is really incentivized to just run. That's obviously an extremely powerful place to be. You're going to see an absurd amount of Mercury in all these top decks. Everyone was terrified of Move. Nevertheless, I think 4 moves made the top 16. Move is the most played deck in the tournament and the most represented at the top ranks. Although, if you saw the thumbnail, you know it didn't win. Everything else about this deck is just like, all right, when I don't get my combo off, and I can snap my combo, I should have a reasonable amount of power any game I see War Machine, period, right? I can also steal a lane with Juggernaut. I can steal some opponent's stuff and win games with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Great idea from ELA, who absolutely rocked and crushed this tournament. Props, my friend. This one is this deck has sort of been tearing up the meta for a little while at Top Infinite. So if you're looking for something that can really frustrate opponents, and a lot of the meta isn't really answering right now, this is going to be the deck for you. Be a little wary, I guess, of Merlin, but even then, like, Merlin's not that big of a deal. They have to change that like storm location right away or they're just in trouble. So it's very very strong. Like they only have one turn to generate the spell really to get rid of the storm, which means that you are very favored. The only card that I think isn't immediately obvious the use of in this deck is Herbie. Herbie is here. A little extra energy is nice. A little extra power into storm lanes is nice. Just a good card to have access to, if nothing special otherwise. Can help with prio or winning those lanes once things are locked down. All right, next up we have MSC 123 123. MSC 123 123 played a deck we've seen many a time here on this channel. This is the version that Cam best favored of the Invisible Woman for Step Sticks after all the changes once Jocasta came out. This version, I believe, was created by Derek, the great Derek, winner of Golden Gauntlet #1. Crafted this version with Cam, and then this became one of the more popular versions for quite a long time in a very simple game plan. This one is the basic difference here is that we've added a lot of tech. Our goal here is to go Jocasta into Invisible Woman or Omega Sentinel into Prodigy. If we can do those three things, we're going to get so much power off either Invisible Woman or Omega Sentinel. We are going to dominate the game. Our Sunspots, Athenas, and Havocs become ungodly big. The Omega Sentinel is going to take off 10 million power from opponents, and they're not going to be able to compete. Herbie in that lane is also a very powerful play because doubling Herbie and then doubling Herbie several more times is really strong. You do get whatever ability you trigger of Herbie when you do this. Hydro Bob will occasionally crash the game if you do the Invisible Woman thing, but outside of that, it's just a powerful play. Spider Ham is going to be one of the most underrated tournament cards around here. Not only is it a multi-activate, you don't really want to multi-activate it unless you have very hyper-specific combos you're trying to beat, but what Spider Ham allows you to do is know what you're taking out of your opponents and gives you a potential snap in those cases. And then, of course, we have our two tech pieces, Shadow King and Juggernaut. We are choosing not to go with Mercury here, which I do believe bites MSC in the butt a little bit here, but Shadow King is still an extremely powerful card and still pretty damn good against move, while Juggernaut gives you those free wins that nothing else can. When you don't see your full combo, you just get like an Invisible Woman, but not the Jocasta Prodigy shenanigans. Number 12, we have Hazlick. Hazlick is so I'm going to be completely honest with you, with all due respect to Hazlick, this is the only deck in the top 16 that I'm like, what the hell is this? This deck takes advantage of the power of Nightmare better than anything. When Nightmare was first data mined, we were like, this is going to dominate in tournaments because it gives you this snap as opponents cannot know what you're doing. In particular, powerful with snaps and Nightmare is 5-drops. We have Red Skull and Blink for that. Also, like a Galactus Destroyer or Infinite is really strong. There's a lot of power to this deck, a lot of things to like, and it can win in a lot of ways. We play some decent early power in Zero and Ebony Maw. We are not even bothering with the Sauron here to get rid of just the Red Skull, because that would turn off our Electro if we did it, and we don't want to turn off our Electro. That extra energy is too important. So we have Zero and Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw has good stats. It's perfectly fine to play with a War Machine after a War Machine when you have extra energy, or early if you know you have War Machine for later. Lockjaw gives us some play to get our key power cards. You do have to be careful of Destroyer with your Lockjaw, but outside of that, you're relatively safe. You're hopefully using him late enough game that you know what you're doing with him, or you're not forced to trigger him. Getting rid of Nightmare is insanely good. Nightmare is a 3/1, is bad stats. Everything in the deck is better stats than Nightmare, so Nightmare is a great target for that. Also, a great target to blink in certain situations. Electro is a ramp card, as is Luna. Those are fairly obvious. You would love to go 3 with Electro into Blink. You can also go Electro into War Machine. You could play War Machine and then like get set up to you'll have extra energy for like a 5-drop and 0 on turn 5 or a 6-drop on Maw on turn 6. That kind of shenanigan is very good. The reason I mentioned 0 is because you might want to play that 6-drop as Destroyer in the next turn, and if it's not hit by Nightmare, you need to. War Machine lets you play the Maw and the Infinite. That's it. It's fairly obvious. It also counters Electro. Blink, you are perfectly happy to blink basically almost any cheap card except War Machine in this list. You're very happy to do so. Occasionally, you're going to hit Electro and it's going to give you trouble. Red Skull is super key because Cerebro is really great right now. Cerebro 3 in particular. Red Skull is an auto win into Cerebro. You just never play Nightmare, and playing that Red Skull will always beat Cerebro. Sorta. We'll see more about that later. And then Galactus, Destroyer, and Infinite are the 3 biggest 6. Destroyer is dangerous with Lockjaw, but outside of that is relatively safe. You can also use your Destroyer to get rid of your Electro on turn 5 if necessary. And then, of course, Infinite big. All right. Before we get to the next bit, if you haven't subbed, liked, and commented yet, please do so. We bring you a video of Marvel Snap every single day. We will have a video up for you first thing tomorrow morning, as we always do. If you want more Marvel Snap decks than anyone, please sub, like, and comment. Help us fight that YouTube algorithm for our lives. All right. At rank 10, we have our old friend Honifer. Honifer 1 has been playing a deck like this forever. Debris was a 3-3 last time we saw this. We ran things like Shadow King last time we saw this, or Red Guardian. We're not doing any of that anymore. This is just pure disruption in stats. Viper, by the way, is an amazing card into that Cerebro matchup. If you're not thinking about it, think about it. If you're playing Cerebro 3, you send over a 7 and you just lose that lane and win everywhere else, right? Because the highest they can get is 12 and you can beat that everywhere. So you have that kind of power from Viper. Although Viper is also just really, really good to send over a Hood, to send over a Sentry. You have multiple ways to do that. You have Yellow Jacket to give -1 to one of the rocks and send it over. You can send over that Hood. You can send over Sam's Shield when you don't have anything, thanks to the Yellow Jacket. The Yellow Jacket's also an honor reveal that moves Werewolf. You end up with a Demon that you can then send over the Hood. You can turn it in the Hood or any of the other cards into 2-drops, thanks to Merlin. And then, of course, you have the unpredictability of Agamotto. Honifer has been playing lists like this for like the last, I don't know, since Merlin came out, more or less, right? For the last like 4 or 5 seasons, he's the king of Merlin Werewolf. Usually finishes around the top 10 to 20 of the Infinite Leaderboard, playing a list that looks just like this. I think this list is really great. We've covered this like 4 times on the channel, so if you're not sure, please go check it out. Look for it. If you need me to cover this again in detail, do so. I think this list is good. I think this list is amazing in Honifer's hands, and just a regular old good list for most players. Next up, we have ACP, who finished in rank 9, and this will be our highest ranked zombies deck, our highest ranked zombies player, and our second in a row of Debris. You might notice this deck, by the way, the Honifer deck, has no answers to move outside of just like the occasional clog. It doesn't like do much to Cerebro unless it gets the Viper. This deck, however, is like, I'm going to counter the crap out of move, although I still don't really have anything for Cerebro unless Spider-Ham hits something good. We've got Cannonball Mercury as our destroy package, right? And outside of this, this is a fairly straightforward zombies deck. We're even running the zombie sentry over the zombie Mr. Fantastic in this list as we try and make ourselves a big old hunger. We make ourselves a big old hunger. We have Spider-Ham with a little bit of tech. I told you that card's great here. And then we play Zombie Giant Man, then we play Absorb Man. And if we can't play Absorb Man, we Mercury Cannonball. Either way works just fine. Crazy power in that kind of play pattern. And the like extra power on Debris is here. It's just extra power for this list, right? You're perfectly happy to just play a 3/7. That gives you some extra stuff to do. Props to ACP for like this like fairly all in zombies deck and doing so well with it. The Mercury Cannonball into zombies is a stroke of genius. Next up, we see the ranks 8, 7, and 6 decks above, even higher than rank 8, 7, 6. In fact, 2 of them are the move deck we're going to see in the top 4. But we've got Izak at rank 5 with the Splat combo. This is I believe just the Splat combo deck. This version is trying to fundamentally, the like goal of the deck is to go Mr. Fantastic into Onslaught into Mystique, and when you do that, you have like 120 power in both side lanes. It ends up completely stupid. The Moonstone can work that way too, and your backup plan is you can go Iron Man Onslaught, and then you can go copy that Iron Man with Mystique on your Moonstone, and then you have those 2 lanes basically won. Prodigy gives you an extra copying card. For when you don't necessarily see that Mystique, and you're good to go. This is just a giant combo deck. It's one of the more powerful things in the game. Magic opens it up to some danger, right? But outside of the magic danger, I think that this is just utterly insane. If you can get your Sarah into Onslaught going, or Wave Onslaught into Sarah going, it's so hard to beat this list. Like, I don't have anything else to say except that this list is wildly, wildly strong. You go Wave, Onslaught, Sarah, and then you can just go Mystique, Mr. Fantastic, and the game is over. You can do it various different combinations with Luna, various different combinations with Magic, so on and so forth. It's a gross and grossly powerful list that I urge you to give a try if you have not. If you like combo. If you like combo, the meta is not answering this right now. There is Enchantress, but not that much. There is Cosmic Ghost Rider, but that's on the downswing because of Man Spider. This list is utterly insane. Play for your 2 combos, win games of Snap. Before we go forward, come check me out on twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I should be streaming tomorrow morning. I've barely been playing. I actually had a fairly busy weekend. I hung out with my son all weekend. So if you'd like to watch me hit Infinite, I still got to do that. So this will be the latest I've hit Infinite in a year or so because I haven't had time to play. So come watch the slightly late Infinite climb. All right, season pass question is if you'd like to win that free zombie, no, not zombie Scarlet Witch. If you'd like to win that free, what's the season pass card? Oh, Spider-Punk. All you gotta do is say which of these decks you are most excited to try. If you'd like to watch the tournament, the VOD is available at twitch.tv/Marvel Snap. All right, in 4th place, we have Gamer. It's Game R. another friend of the show. He streams now, Gamer Snap. He played another Mercury Cannonball because Mercury's so good, Cannonball so good. Super Giants also really really good against move, where if they can't get their like Heimdall or Legion off on turn, sorry, not Heimdall, their Cloak or Heimdall off on turn 5, you have a really good play into that matchup. You just have a lot of power here, right? Your basic gist, your basic game plan is use Supergiant, and then if with Daredevil snap, or you can snap with Daredevil on turn 5, or vice versa, you know your opponent's plays on turn 5 reasonably often because you know their deck list, and then you have Cosmo Negasonic Red Guardian to make them suffer, to punish them. We don't want to lose to combo decks, so we have Scarlet Witch to get rid of our magic. We just have a ton of things we like in this list. Copycat gives us a snap condition our opponent can't know what's happening with. They don't know what we've got. This one is just a stellar list that I'm really, really happy that Gamer did so well with. Gamer is a phenomenal Marvel Snap player and one that like top players all know about. So now hopefully everyone knows his name after this amazing finish. Again, if you like Supergiant lists, like the Red Skull version is probably the one to go with on ladder, but this one's a stroke of genius for tournament play, where open deck lists mean Copycat is unpredictability. Supergiant and Daredevil give you perfect knowledge. Really, really good against Arishem. We have our Cosmo. We have our Cosmo Negasonic Red Guardian. We can counter sort of everything. Beautiful list from Gamer. Next up, we have our top ranked move list, and we saw a few different varieties of this. Sometimes they ran Spider Punk. Oh wait, this one ran Spider Punk. Excuse me. What is this running Spider Punk over? We've got Madam Web, we got Sparky, we got Dagger. No, I don't know what it's over. I think it's just running Spider Punk. Okay, fair enough. Over Juggernaut, Spider Punk over Juggernaut. So sometimes we see Juggernaut in the Ghost Spider Aranya spot or the Spider Punk spot. Lately, sometimes we're seeing a Cosmic Ghost Rider or a similar card in those spots. This one is just saying, beat me. I'm going to put out 1,000,000 points. I'm going to have a giant Human Torch. I'm going to do my Hellion or Cloak on the right on turn 5, and I'm going to be the best deck in the game. This is the best deck in the game, but we saw a ridiculous amount of Mercury, so finishing this high, all these decks that are move finishing so high is ridiculously impressive. We covered this deck literally last week on the channel, so I'm not going to go into a crazy amount of detail. This is the Sizer archetype. He fundamentally invented this version of move as a deck that people should play. I mean, he stuck all the move cards in a deck, right? But he figured out the exact alchemy that makes it the very best deck in Marvel Snap, and Watermelon was able to pilot it to top 3. Remember, your goal is to get out 2 movers, make them reasonably big into turn 5. When you play Cloak or Hellion on the right, you move some stuff over, and then you threaten either Heimdall, or you win with some last like move card like Ghost Spider or Ghost Spider Cosmo type shenanigans. It's simple, it's powerful, it beats almost everything that doesn't run Mercury, and finished top 3 even in this absurdly Mercury heavy meta. At rank 2, we have our friend Teebs. What's up, Teebs? So, Teebs, 2 Golden Gauntlets ago, it's hard to, they all run together a little bit. Hadn't been playing a lot of Snap and wanted to qualify for World, so she watched one of our videos and found an Arishem Thanos list and was like, I can just take that. Took that, qualified Worlds, and then updated it a little bit. I think the big differences here are like some of the tech slots. Took that, updated a little bit, and finished rank 2 in the World Championships. This deck thrives on unpredictability. You cannot know what a snap is or what a snap means in this list, right? You've got Merlin, which means that we don't have to fear things. You got Merlin and Legion, so we don't have to fear magic. You got Valentina for unpredictability. Spider-Punk just because it's really good. Although, honestly, Spider-Punk is probably here just because it's new as much as anything else and Teebs wants to play it. Mercury, to occasionally rule and move. Shadow King, Cosmic, Ghost Rider, Enchantress, Eliath, tech soup galore. Legion is tech. Mockingbird just gets cheap. Thanos gives you some draw, and then Arishem gives you extra energy. Unpredictability plus tech equals success in tournaments. We saw the second ever Golden Gauntlet won by a Thanos Arishem. We almost saw the World Championships won. Props to our friend Teebs. A turn by turn for an Arishem Thanos list is always kind of silly, right? You draw cards when you can, you play tech when it wins, and then you put out as much power as possible. This deck should answer basically everything and almost took everything home. Except, wait, oh no, we got to stop before we talk at number 1. All right, if you're interested, if you're curious, if you're willing, please check out Raid Shadow Legends. I'm a creator for it. I really enjoy the game. I'm genuinely having a great time. My son's playing with me. My wife plays off and on. It's a blast. I know I've heard all the memes. You've heard all the memes. If you're interested in checking out some of our content, please do so. And if you do, you get a nice extra free legendary. You actually get 2 free legendaries if you put in a code. Check the description to any of my raid videos if you're interested, and if not, hey, no harm, no foul. All right, at number 1 we have Zap Gaze. Story time again. Zap Gauge is a Magic the Gathering content, not content creator, commenter of their tournaments. He's one of the top of those players. He qualified for the World Championships. He's a friend of KMBS. He was like, okay, so if I don't have time to like learn the whole meta and do everything, what's the easiest deck to play? Apparently, is the conversation that he has with KM. KM suggests this deck. He then goes and wins the whole damn thing with this deck. It's actually a different version that KM suggested. This is the great Cerebro 3 player Jay Walla's version, and it's utterly, utterly disgusting. So let's start with Bast. We're going to do a full card by card breakdown here. Let's start with Bast. We have in this list, we have Mystique, we have Cerebro, and we have Luke Cage. Turning any of those into 3-drops is obviously great. M'Baku is amazing in these decks. He pops in if you've got Cerebro Mystique as a 9 power card. Just a free 9 power at the end of the game is terrifying and game stealing. You can always obviously play him earlier as a 1/9 is still pretty good. You saw we had basically no Killmonger among the top decks. From there, we have Jeff, movable, 9 power, good thing to have. That is a 2 cost if you get your Cerebro Mystique going, a 2 cost Vision. Scarlet Witch is our location control. We do need location control in every Cerebro deck, and Scarlet Witch is the go-to here. Sentinel gives us repeatable 3s, unbelievably good in a Cerebro 3 deck for obvious reasons. Cerebro Mistake are obviously the power cards. We have a Luke to protect us from negative locations, so we can save Scarlet Witch for positive bad locations. Things like Nidavellir will be Scarlet Witch, but things like the negative zone, Luke Cage, means you don't have to bother changing them. From there, we have Cosmo, which means we can protect our stuff and counter opponents. Makari is a free 9 power, which is utterly stupid. Rogue lets us counter other combo decks, other ongoing decks. Also, if the opponent rogues us, rogues our Cerebro, or anything silly shenanigans like that, we can rogue it back. Just generally a great card to have. Really, really good against that War Machine in ELA's deck, for example. Stellar list. And of course, we have Bastion. Bastion is here largely to copy Cerebro. Having an extra 2/3 Cerebro means that we are utterly, utterly crazily ahead. If we can turn all our 3s into 12 power, the game is over. But even if we just settle at 9, we're putting up more power than almost anything with just enough tech to beat things. Rogue on a Madam Web, right? A Cosmo to stop a key move, so on and so forth. This deck was able to sing to the World Championship as this amazingly powerful deck. And a player coming from MTG is our new world champion. Props to Zapgaze for the great, great finish. All right, that's our look at the World Championships. Let me know, remember what deck you would most like to try from this in order to enter to win a Spider-Punk. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out our Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments. Certain tier support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks every single episode. I'm going to say thank you to Jonesy Snap 22, Abigail Gilson, Mentor, Burnout, LAB, Inc., I Am, Frostman, Ironcloak, Hota Nevedete, Prime, Ryan Burke, Ryan with Snap, Ren Wrench, Vera, Group Math, Gopher Kev, Kertix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel, 3K, Black Dia, Pyro, Goatsy, Code, Hollow, Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Dirte, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Jane Jones, the Bizza, Black Cheebus 23, Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush Death, The King of Bros, Brook, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsioda, Colt, Clam, Colonel Forbin, David Moo, Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Matt V, William Billy Nix, Ray Sean Smith, Charles Chucky Washington, Corin, John Q, Jimmy Q, excuse me, bye, Yistout. Yistout, hi, Yistout. Eighth Sage, One Big Man, Cactus, Steve-O, Yo Margo, Tempro, Good Joe, and Snap Decisions Joe, Biggity Boom Bop, Bricks to Click, Ocu, Ocular Screen, Goblin Flan, Expectionist, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, DJ, Mike Hedges, No Freaking Flex, Nick Degree Geek, Toxic, Soul King, Sodric 74, The King of Canada, JJ, 10 Man, Falcon, Fofthor, Newman, Two Ties, The Great Lord, as the Pirate King, Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. That's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this look into the Golden Gauntlet's top 16 decks, and I'll see you tomorrow for a regular old deck video. Peace.